So, what do I do for my child experiencing mental health issues like your past? So, this is from Nicole. And so, I have been going through and had gone through lots of different mental health issues since I was really young. And so, how do you kind of get over that? The best way is to find, if you're on medication or something, to get a psychiatrist who is integrative or holistic. I find that helps because their aim is to get you off medication, and I feel like that is the same aim as spirituality and people in the spiritual community. They kind of go against big pharma and that pharmaceutical industry kind of mindset about prescribing medication. And so when you kind of go into it, you want to focus on, okay, so how can I get a holistic or integrative psychiatrist? How can I get a psychologist that is open-minded, or a psychotherapist or counselor who is open-minded and can align with my own spiritual or cultural belief system? This is specifically for yourself. So everyone is going to be different with that. And the best thing that my psychologist ever said was, you're quite intuitive and you're quite psychic. And so the best thing for you to do is go and get a spiritual counselor. And so I advise everyone else to get a spiritual counselor as well. So a holistic and integrative psychiatrist, an open-minded psychologist or counselor, or psychotherapist, and a spiritual counselor as well. Just someone who could see the bigger divine purpose of everything that you're going through, or the God view of what you're going through, and can actually get you through that period. So then you're covering your God view or your cosmic view, then you're covering your world view, and then you're covering also the physical and mental and emotional view from the psychiatrist perspective. And I find that each of those kind of help get through that stage. It is also good if it is your child or someone that is a part of your family system. Having a strong family support system is really, really helpful, I found. For example, when I was going through it and I had to get off my medication, and I wanted to get off my medication because that was my goal, I would stay in my mother's bed for about 2 or 3 months, I think it was, and just so that I could get off that medication, have a strong support system through that. And so I don't advise you, if you're older and you don't want to do that, that's fine. But just having a strong support system, there's like at least 3 people that you can go to: a friend, a family member, and then someone who's outside of your family circle but in the community, but is also close to you, that you can go to as well and has the same spiritual or cultural belief systems. I found that helped as well. So there's 3 different people who you can rely on and go to at least. If you don't have anyone who you can turn to or anything like this, there is different like helplines that you can call, and communities that you can go to, and groups on Meetup and things like that as well. But what I advise for you is for you just to kind of put yourself out there and as much as you can, and get at least 3 people who are your support system that you can call at any time if you need any help or anything like that, or you're kind of going through a struggle. And it's always important to reach out as well. So it's good that you've reached out and you've identified that you either have a mental health issue or you're struggling with mental illness, and just to get that kind of ball rolling so that you can kind of unpack everything else. I feel like after you go through the identification phase, you kind of go through the de-identification phase, where you don't want to be identified by that anymore because you've learned so much about that and it's kind of become your personality. You then go through some type of spiritual awakening where you awaken and you want to de-identify yourself. And so it's important to have someone who's at each of those stages for you in a good support system. At least going to some type of event. I used to love going to ecstatic dances by myself, and so I would go there and I meet fun people and like-minded people. So that's just for me. But you can go to different sporting events and different meetup groups, different hiking groups, anything that kind of helps you and gets you out of that comfort zone and meeting like-minded people who have similar interests and are on a same journey and same path as you is very helpful. I think I've covered the whole thing. Yeah, and so there is like hope. There is a phase where you can de-identify from what you had identified with. And I found that throughout the process, each time I would get labeled with something else, or I'd find something else about it, or I would question the label that I had been going through, and then go into a different label and then question that label and then de-identify myself. So you're always going into it, and then you gain a personality that you kind of don't want anymore, and then you change as you grow. And so there's different personalities and different stigmas around mental health. And also my spiritual counselor, when she was advising me, she also said that people who have mental illness, and this will trigger some people, but people who have mental illness or mental health issues often have manipulative tendencies. And so you need to be mindful that when you are seeking help, or you're going to a psychologist, psychiatrist, counselor, spiritual counselor, that you kind of open up and share everything and don't hold anything back, because it doesn't help you in the long run. And so I feel like that will help at least someone out there. I hope that I've answered your question there. And yeah, thank you for listening. Hopefully it's helpful for you, and that it helps other people out there too.